What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to go over supplies and tools that you're going to need if you want to get started welding. I use a lot of Harbor Freight tool supplies, so that's basically what this video is going to cover. I've got a Harbor Freight welding mask, I've got a Harbor Freight welder. We're going to talk about all the tools that you're going to need if you want to start welding at home or just learn how to weld, basically. To start off, you're going to need a welder. I purchased this from Harbor Freight. It's their smallest welder, and it's also the cheapest stick welder that I could find. Now, I bought a stick welder because I wanted to learn how to weld stick, but you can get a flux core welder and learn MIG. They're both the least expensive way to start welding, so that's what I was going for. This welder specifically is 80 amps. And what I have made for it is basically just a homemade welding cart, just with a little arm up above, so that way you can coil up the cords and have them stored. I made it with flat bar, some angle iron, and some metal. But that leads us into the next thing that you're going to need, which is welding metal. So the next thing you're going to need is welding metal, and what I've got right here is weld steel, and then it says angle for angle iron. It's 1/8 inch. This is 1/8 inch angle iron. That's 1 inch. I got 1 inch angle iron, and you can see here that I got 1 inch angle iron, and I also got 1 inch flat bar, and that's what I used to make the welding stand. So you don't need to get fancy with it. All you need to do is just get some welding metal. Now, Home Depot and Lowe's, they're going to be pretty expensive when it comes to welding metal. I would find a metal supply store and see if they can put you on an email list to pick up drops. They make a list every time they have a big collection of drops, which are scraps from pieces that they cut. The sheet metal I purchased from Home Depot. If you find yourself in an auto shop environment very often, then you can find weldable steel almost anywhere. This, for example, came from a junk hose reel that was hanging above to hold airlines for a shop. I got this for free, and I've used it for countless numbers of welding practice. So the next piece you're going to need is the welding mask. Now, there's two different types of welding masks. There's passive and there's active. When I say passive, I mean they do not react to changing light conditions. My mask has a glass and it's tinted, and that is the mask. Now, I like it because you get a wider view of the weld. That doesn't count for much when you're just learning, because really it helps to get close. And when you get down and close, you can see every detail that you need. When you're just starting out, I would recommend an auto darkening mask. The auto darkening masks are just a little bit more expensive, but it helps you in the long run, because when you're setting up a weld, you can see exactly what you're doing, and when you make a mistake, you can see exactly what you're doing wrong. But when I'm welding, I'm doing it for structural purposes, and I'm not so much worried about the cosmetic appearance. And also, once you start welding with a passive mask, you can see the weld. So it's just the start and the termination that are, and even that isn't, it's just the start. So if you know how to initiate a weld, then you're A-okay with a passive mask. And the benefit for the passive mask is it doesn't have any batteries. It's just a piece of glass. So you get the full benefits of the full viewing window, and there's no drawbacks. You don't have to worry about losing pieces or messing things up, because it's the only thing you could do is drop it on the ground and break it. Now, just because it came from Harbor Freight doesn't mean that it doesn't look good. I actually really like the way this looks, and the material is bendy, so you don't have to worry about it snapping or breaking because it's really pliable. I haven't had any problems with it. I've had it for a while. Now, you're going to want something to clean your visor off with, just because it's going to get dirty while you're welding. So a clean mask helps you see better. And I purchased a headband from Amazon for like $30, which was more than this mask was, and it really helped. I didn't have a need to replace it. The one that we have at work broke, so I used the headband from my Harbor Freight mask at work, and the work mask came from Harbor Freight, and that one lasted for years before the headband broke. So you don't really have to worry about anything. It's cheap and it's affordable and it does the job. If you've got a welder, you're going to need the weld for the welder you have. Now, for a stick welder, you need stick rods. If you've got a MIG welder, you're going to need a spool of wire for the MIG. If you're starting out with stick, I would recommend 6011 because that's what I had the most success with while I was learning. You can learn with 6013 too. I would not recommend learning with 7018. I've tried all of them. I recommend that you try all of them, but 7018 will give you the most problems. But an experienced welder will know exactly which rod to use for which material. So, and what job they're doing. Each rod offers a different type of weld. And that the same isn't necessarily true about MIG. But this video is going to mostly be about stick because I have a stick welder. Don't forget to hit the like button because it helps me a lot. My like to view ratio is very low. So make sure you hit the like button because I'm trying to get my YouTube channel off the ground here, and if I don't get any likes, then that's not going to happen. So if you don't like my content, later on down the road, I'm going to put something out that you will like. So hit the like button, please. I promise you that you're going to like it. I've got all kinds of cool projects.